Hello and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. Welcome to the family. We chose this one. This is episode 400. Life in the Fast Lane.
Wow.
44. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too. 400 episodes is a fuck ton. Shit.
Yeah, we're not celebrating 400. We're celebrating something else soon. You'll know it when we get to it.
Yes.
Not 420.
Why we celebrate Hitler's birthday and Elon's
Favorite number.
I'm surprised he hasn't released a Tesla 420 yet, because that's really cool.
Well, he was spelling out sexy, right? So
that's what I'm saying.
The Tesla
So like
4, the Tesla whatever, yeah.
That would be right up his alley. Super cool.
Joe, let's get right into the Tokyo Drift minute 10 because we're finally done with the race in Shangri-La. So in this minute, Sean and Clay's cars continue to spin out. The onlookers, who have now returned, scatter. One onlooker films the race from a handheld camera while hanging out an SUV window. Clay crashes headfirst into a concrete tube? What would you call that, a concrete tube?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I was like,
I've seen those everywhere, and I know that they're made of concrete. I don't know what they're for, and I don't know what you call them.
Pipe? I was going to say piece of concrete pipe.
Top thing, when I googled big concrete tubes, the top hit is, what are big concrete pipes called? It's a culvert. A culvert is a structure that channels water past an obstacle or to a subterranean waterway, typically embedded so as to be surrounded by soil. It may be made from a pipe, reinforced concrete, or other materials. So culvert, C-U-L-V-E-R-T.
That's a good word. Okay, I like it. Good job.
Clay crashes headfirst into a concrete culvert, taking him out of the race. Sean almost regains control of his car before spinning out and tumbling sideways. The camera spirals to show Sean's upside-down face, eventually right side up. We then cut to the police station where Sean, Clay, and Cindy are banged up. Sean winks at Cindy and flashes a bloody, toothy smile. She sighs and looks away. And ever so briefly, right before the minute ends, the video recording of the race begins to play.
Yes, like the taping that they showed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And where he goes, can I get a copy of that?
Yeah. That's what we're getting to.
There are 4 cops or 4 officers behind Clay and Cindy, 3 in uniform, 1 in plainclothes. There's also just a dude back there, maybe under arrest or
in
something.
In a white tee. Yeah, I saw him.
Unclear. I don't want to be racist and be like, oh, he's not white, so he must be under arrest. But like the movie's basically just like, hey, that guy's under arrest.
Yeah, they're in Arizona. I get it.
Ba with the ba does continue and then end. But Joe, what did you notice in this scene?
So I thought there was more fun trash inside Sean's car than there is. You get like the Tabasco, but it's really just McDonald's trash otherwise. So
you were looking for this for a while.
Oh, well, I mean, we were stuck in fucking Shangri-La, so like I was looking for anything. But yes,
I think even I might be wrong, but I think even like looking forward to this movie when we were doing Too Fast, you're like, man, when the car crash and it's gonna be tumbling, it's gonna
yeah. I thought there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff. It's just like fucking trash from McDonald's.
Sweet. Okay.
Did that. Gotten some stuff in the police station. Nothing super crazy. I saw a cool sign that said all personal packages and briefcases are subject to inspection while in this building at the reception desk for the cops. They have some flags. I don't know, nothing super crazy, but it was nice to get new cars, I wish I could figure out what the camcorder was. The one kid's holding the camcorder.
Yeah.
I wish I could have figured that out, but like that's it. Because it's a lot of spinning. We get we had 10 seconds at the end of going into the police station. So, But that's what I covered. What about you, brother?
There's nothing much more for me because there's no dialogue in the scene. The cops are just wearing dark pants, but they're not even uniform pants. They have like a tan shirt. There's the woman, you didn't even see her head, where she's wearing like this like very bold blue shirt. But there's not a lot. I'm just excited for the next minute. We're going to get the detective who is interrogating Sean, and also probably Linda Boyd, so I can go deep into those people there. But like when there's no new people, there's no new outfits, it's like, okay, we're pivoting now. We're getting close to a thing that matters.
Yes, exactly.
Do you want to do the trivia question about McDonald's, or is that too crazy? Because I wasn't looking for that. I didn't see it was McDonald's, but also, is it noticeable? Should we do something else?
It's a red fry box for sure. Like a red McDonald's fry box. There's the Tabasco sauce. We could do that. We could do a question about who crashes and what do they crash into.
Oh, like a Clay crashes into a culvert, Sean tumbles, Sean crashes into a culvert, Clay tumbles.
We could do that, or it could have been like Clay crashes into a house, a porta potty, a culvert, a piece of siding. You know, like a pile of building materials, or what? You know what I mean?
I think there's like a more fair, possibly question version of that, where it's like, what does Clay crash into that takes him out of the race?
That's fine. Wording is fine. Syntax doesn't matter to me. So
give me 4 options what he could have crashed into.
It would have been like a house, a porta potty, the culvert, and a stack of siding tiles, but building material. I don't know what kind of building materials do you want to do. You know what I mean?
I think just saying building materials is good.
Okay, cool. Especially because we just went into what the fuck is this word called, and we figured it out too. So it's a little vocab bonus for you. Culvert. Yeah, I didn't want to make it weird about like, is it Sean or somebody else? It's like what takes this person out of the race specifically.
I wonder if this is a question where, like, I don't know what that word means, so it's probably the right answer. Or, I don't know what that word means. No,
we looked up words in streets for other places, and it doesn't fucking matter.
True.
That's, like, we do it good, so.
We need a minute title, though. It could be something, like, do you want fries with that? It could be something McDonald's-y.
I was going to do, like, road rash, because their face has a scrape on it. I was going to do... Yeah. What do you think?
Road rash is fine.
Is that good enough for, like, is there anything better?
No, I think it's fine. Does Clay cry? I forgot that was the question last time. Yes. Yes, he does. Minute 10, road rash. What does Clay crash into? Ooh, wait. What about road rash and road crash? Road crash and road rash?
I was going to actually name it Roadhead, which I thought was really funny because it was, like, inappropriate and... she gets a scratch on her face, or like face.
Okay, how about this? Road rash, road crash, and roadhead.
Okay, yes, Roadhouse.
Minute 10: road rash, road crash, roadhouse, and roadhead. What does Clay crash into that eliminates him from the race? The answer is culvert.
Okay, that works. Good. Well, you made me laugh at the end. Thank you. That was worth the dance. We got there eventually.
Anything else you want to say about minute 10 of Tokyo Drift?
No, I wonder how fast we get to Tokyo now. Because again, well, we have to deal with Sean's mom, so this could be 3 minutes of being in the police station. But you could also tell me that we like make it to the Tokyo, like the MC Hammer poster by the end of the next minute. Either one of those would make sense to me.
I'm guessing there's gonna be like a minute and a half. Is my guess. In the middle of the next minute, in the middle of minute 12, I think we're going to be aboard a plane.
Okay, that's fair.
My guess.
Yeah, we had to do the plane ride too. You're right. Okay.
Yep. So on the streets, news about the Fast and Furious. I only have like 1.5 things. Is there anything you've seen? It's been a weirdly quiet week, 2 weeks.
It's been very quiet. News. Very, very quiet. All I saw was I didn't see anything. I saw like my friend posting about the Haagen-Dazs Super Bowl commercial again, so I guess they're like still pumping that somewhere, or it's still like in the depths of the internet, like digging itself back up.
It's always weird to see like Super Bowl commercials after the fact. It's like you paid $7 million to put this once, and now you're paying probably like $25,000 to put it again, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, okay,
yeah, it was.
They gotta put it somewhere.
But no, like other than the John Cena being a heel, which I said last time, which I've seen a lot of too. Nothing crazy.
Fast and Furious adjacent, and we have a crossover episode in our future because, so there is, I don't know if you know this, but Keanu Reeves wrote a comic called Berserker.
No. Okay. That's cool, though.
And it's becoming a movie, I think, voiced or starring Keanu.
That's cool. I have a side tangent Keanu story that I just heard recently.
Okay. But the film adaptation going to Netflix is directed, or going to be directed by...
$7 Entertainment.
Nope. Justin Lin.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Very, very cool.
So at some point, we'll get the Mike Sir on here. We can do an episode for this and for Keanu Club.
That's
and
fun.
Talk
Yeah,
about
I'll do
Berserker, directed by Justin Lin. Because Keanu is still... He's like the closest actor to this franchise that's not actually in the franchise, I think, right?
I think so, too.
And also Justin Lin is the director of the franchise that's no longer the director of the franchise. So
yes,
there's
I
that.
agree, too.
There's another thing
the story
of
Keanu.
Oh, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to tell you. You probably know this because you're a Keanu fan, but he did like an AMA on Reddit a while ago, and somebody was like asked him something, and he's like, "Oh, when I showed up to LA, like before I was famous, I saw these guys at a gas station once, and they had a bunch of hockey equipment, and I was like, oh, what is that?' And they're like, we play hockey,' and he's like, oh, that's cool. And they're like, do you want to come play hockey with us? And he's like, yeah. He's like, so I was in this deck hockey league for like 15 years. And he's like, I would go. And he's like, yeah, they were like, I made some really great friends. And like, we just played deck hockey like every Thursday or whatever. And like, that's what, or like, I don't remember if it was ice or deck hockey. But anyways, he was just playing hockey with a bunch. He was like in a beer league with like a bunch of dudes. And just like, that's what he did on Thursdays. And I was like,
well, like
that's...
when he showed up to LA, he was just like a dude, right? Like
that's what I mean.
I don't know if he was a member of the model or whatever, but he just came down from Canada. He obviously knew what hockey was, but, you know, he was also in a hockey movie.
Yeah, so there you go. But I mean, but like, imagine
that's
if you
pretty
were,
cool, though.
Imagine if you were like, yeah, I'm like in this beer league, and you're like, oh, that's cool. You're like, yeah, Keanu Reeves is like on my team, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're like, yeah, dude, and like then he's like famous, right? And you're like, yeah, dude, I just played Thursday nights with Keanu. Like we just play.
Those games probably wind up looking like the soccer game in Fate of the Furious, where it's like one team, like the Pink Dragons, has a crazy, but instead of like there for hot coach The Rock, hot coach Hobbs, it's just there because
I don't think
Keanu
anybody
was
knew.
Hockey.
I think that it was probably like to keep it pure. I think you'd have to be like, oh no, Keanu's like, like, can I join? And you'd be like, no.
I also wonder if like playing against him, like you don't check him because
I don't know.
You don't want to be the guy who like
breaks Keanu's like
killed
wrist,
John Wick or whatever. Yeah,
like hurts his finger before he has to go shooting or something. Yeah.
Also, maybe he might not have, because like you always hear about like athletes and stuff like getting hurt like playing pickup basketball. They're like, it was explicitly in your contract, no playing pickup basketball or whatever. You know what I mean? Like we're just like, I wonder if Keanu kept it quiet because like he had like contracts where it's just like you can't play like
no extreme
no
sports.
Dangerous. Yeah, exactly. He's like, okay, you know,
sure.
And then like he either got caught or stopped or whatever. And she's like, oh yeah, I played hockey for 15 years.
Yeah.
You might have seen this on Twitter because people we follow in our orbit were replying to it. I don't think we follow this person. Oh, they follow us, we follow them. So does somebody that we know. We sort of know. I don't know who this is, though. I don't think they're a patron. They might be a listener. I don't know. But they posted this thing and said this popped up on my Facebook timeline, and if I'm going to be honest, I hope this is fake, parentheses, I know this is fake. So this was like something from Fast and Furious fans on Facebook. So bear in mind, I'm not bringing this out as news. I'm just bringing this out because there's no news, and we need something to talk about.
That's
for Fast
fair enough.
11.
Yes.
Rumor. Everything seems to indicate that the latest hashtag Fast and Furious movie has had a change in script due to the poor reception that the 10th installment had. Here are some details. Number 1. There's more, like it gets cut off, but there's 4 that we can read. The movie will have a completely different plot, now focusing on races. Jason Momoa's character will be modified to be an ally and not an enemy.
I mean, well...
Yes, probably eventually.
Probably.
But he also just tried to kill everybody. Like, it can't be that quick.
And we can't have races throughout the movie. Like, psych, you didn't get us, Jason. He's like, you want to go race about it? And they're like, yeah, cool. Yeah. Which is what Number it sounds 2. Like, but go ahead.
The villain of the movie will be an old enemy named Carter Verone, hashtag Cole Hauser, and he'd be returning as the real leader or causer of all the events in the movies.
Somebody's listening to our show and just repeating the dumb shit that we heard. This is clickbait made by us.
The only reason I think that's even remotely possible is because he was on Yellowstone and
he's famous
and like
again,
he's known now. Yeah. Number 3. It seems that Verone has been moving everything from the shadows and was working with Dante Reyes' father. Well, just Hernan Reyes.
Which is quite possible because he was in Miami. Like this is all like very logical, right? Because it's like Mexico, Miami.
And then the 4th one also, sure. underwhelming. The movie will show Brian, parentheses, being played by the actor's brothers, hashtag Universal, will once again use CGI to recreate the actor's face.
Okay.
So this says Momoa becomes family, which, sure.
Sure.
Cole Hauser comes back as the main villain. Unlikely, but we've talked about it.
Well, we pitched it.
He's working with Hernan Reyes, which, sure. I mean, it would make sense, because if 10's whole thing was sins of the past or whatever, right? Like...
Yeah.
And then Brian comes back, which, if it's the last movie, Brian's coming back.
Yes. Okay, not necessarily news, but things that we've thought about, talked about. Like I said, I really that just the thing would fuck me up though. Is, yeah, if we do exactly what I said, which is we were do. Whoa, what a crazy way to rescue ourselves from that dam collapse. And they're like sitting there at a barbecue with Dante, and they're like, really got iffy there for a while. Glad we're friends now. And like that was the resolution to the last movie.
It would be funny if it was just like, here's some rumors about Fast and Furious 11. Exactly what you just said. Suki is back, and she's better than ever. The Too Fast, Too Forever podcast is in the movies. It's like, hold on, wait, what?
Yes, yeah, that too. Yeah.
I realized, before we run the Vin, we did not do the BD Wappy results, and we did not do Goof Troop, I don't think, last time. We did not go through the goofs of Fast and Furious 6.
Okay.
I don't think, and we definitely didn't do the BD Wappy results. I think we just skipped over that last time. So let's do BD Wappy first. So this is where we go on twitter.com, x.com, the Everything app, and we find tweets. We respond to them. This is with Aaron Neuwirth on Fast and Furious 6.
Yes.
So, Joe, I found, this gives us another 2 weeks to not score points.
Okay.
I found Zach Parks at Zach_Parks from Fast and Furious. Mia Toretto, how do you say goodbye to your only brother? Oops. And a screenshot of Vin, of Dom, and Jacob. And we said the same thing happened with How Do You Know? And this franchise is not great with family, even though it's all about hashtag family. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. It got 2 likes. Aaron and Randy, so no points for me.
Oh,
thought maybe I had a chance.
Okay.
You found the girl with the Garfield tattoo at Shelby Boring. The most romantic moment in all of cinema is when Dom challenges Letty to a street race to help her to remember who he is in Fast and Furious 6. We said that's a very good one, but we think diving across the bridge to save her may be the most romantic moment in all of cinema. The way to a podcast for you. It also got 2 likes from Aaron and Randy. So, again,
boo.
Unfortunate.
Boo.
We replied to someone who maybe blocked us because we're unable to view this post because there's account owner limits who can view their post. So maybe our spammy thing was just like, nope, don't need to see that. But also in response to G, who just said dog thinks he's in the Fast and Furious franchise. Oh, it was the dog video, the dog driving the car.
Yes.
And we just said, boy, to a podcast for you. And no one liked it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now Goof Troop, Fast and Furious 6.
Yes.
So we go on IMDb, go to the Goofs section, and review the Goofs from Fast and Furious 6. So here are the Goofs in continuity. If these sound familiar, let me know, but I don't think we did these.
Okay.
Because I don't think we, again, talked about World's Longest Runway and people trying to debunk that, right? I don't think we did that.
No, we don't. I don't think so.
So we have 2 continuity ones. One's not really one, but there's a bunch of things about beards disappearing or reappearing. It's like Hobbs is completely shaven in this one scene, then we cut back to him and he's got a full beard. It's like, okay, like that's bad. If that's true, that's bad, but like, who cares?
Also, yes, who cares? Like, you could shave in the middle of the day if you really wanted, so it doesn't matter too much, but sure.
The other one is, during the street race in London, Letty's Interceptor is equipped with an automatic transmission with a racing shifter. However, during the race, Letty is seen pushing a clutch pedal numerous times. An automatic car does not have a clutch. In one scene, as the car is accelerating, she can be seen shifting the car from 2 to 1 on the automatic shifter. 26 up, 4 down.
Yeah, that's goofy, but I can see why they'd be like, we have to show the clutch pedal pushing because it's a Fast and Furious movie. Also, the hero car that we got or whatever doesn't have a manual transmission, so.
It is weird to be like, we need to show them driving, so we need to be like shifting and clutching and whatever. But it's also like, the people who want to see her driving are car people who are going to realize, and that's an automatic.
Yes.
Like, I might not, because I'm not looking for that, because I don't give a shit, but like, if people are like, oh, cool, that's an automatic, what are they doing?
Who is this for?
I don't know. All right, factual errors, there are 2, and these are 2 overwhelmingly positive ones.
Okay.
The first one is about the runway. The longest paved runway in Spain where the scene takes place is at Madrid's Torrejón Airport at 4,800 meters, about 3 miles. The heroes chase the villains down the runway, apparently unaware of where they are, for about a minute before the plane disappears, thus eating up at least 1/3 of the runway's length. The plane, an Antonov AN-124, plans to do a touch and go, a landing and immediate takeoff once the villains are aboard. While this is certainly possible in the last 2 miles of runway, such a maneuver should take approximately 1 minute. Any longer at over 100 miles per hour, and there wouldn't be any more runway to fly over.
Makes sense.
The length of the scene is far beyond anything even remotely possible under circumstances. 193 up, 7 down.
Jeez. Okay, yeah, overwhelmingly positive. But we know that. We've said it before, like, everything's happened concurrently and blah, 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 but...
I do like that one, like, brought the facts, though, in a way that, like, everybody complaining is just like, that's not... It's like, no, this is how long it would take, and here's the thing.
Yes. So
this
that
one
means...
is very funny.
That means that we were actually on the runway for 1 minute.
Yeah. Well, yes. Theoretically.
Yeah. Theoretically.
The other one, and this is just funny. When Brian O'Connor is being escorted from a plane by U.S. Marshals, the Marshals are wearing jackets with the misspelling Marshall with 2 L's printed on them. 38 up, 0 down.
That's awesome. Rachel will love that one. I can't wait to tell her. She's a grammar Nazi.
Incorrectly regarded as goofs, there are none. Revealing mistakes, these are nerdy. There are 2. No matter where they are in London, the cars always pass the same number 4 double-decker bus. 59 up, 2 down.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's pretty funny, though. They just got 1 bus for the shoot. It happens.
And then, despite the absolute beating Roman, Hahn, and Hicks suffered during their respective fights on the subway, none of them show any bruising or effects afterwards. Their skins are all unblemished. 3 up, 0 down.
They're demigods. It makes sense.
Miscellaneous, none. Anachronisms, none. Audiovisual, unsynchronized, there's no interesting ones. Errors in geography, so this is where you just keep in mind for 10 or 15 years down the road when we get here for
true.
the minute.
I'll remember.
When Hobbs shoots the vending machine in London, the chocolates in the machine are chocolates only found in vending machines in the U.S. and not in the UK. 54 up, 5 down.
Well, it's not far-fetched to imagine that, like, when Hobbs shows up, he brings a vending machine full of snacks for them. Like, he could have stopped at Costco.
Also, you might just be filling it with the comforts of home.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Maybe is it unheard of to travel with your vending machine? No.
When Tej uses the ATM Cajero Automático, the signage displays Banco Principal de Costa Rica. There is no such bank in Costa Rica, which is fine. That's
no
not
shit.
Really
yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Also, the scenes were not shot in Costa Rica, as there's no location in Costa Rica which even comes close in visual appearance to the site used in the scene. In addition, the bills dispensed by the ATM are red. No ATM in Costa Rica would dispense red bills, those the equivalent of less than $2 in Costa Rica. The red Costa Rican bills are also smaller than the bills shown in the scene and are made of plastic, not cotton paper. Costa Rican ATMs dispense green and dull orange bills and occasionally yellow bills. 10 up, 6 down. That's all boring, but I just love having one guy
Costa Rican
watching the scene going crazy with each subsequent. There's no bank. That's not Costa Rica. That's not the money.
Yeah, that is funny. But also, this is so movie explainable, right? You're like, you use whatever. It's money. It's money.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't need to be region locked.
Nope. Crew or equipment visible. None. Plot holes. There's 1. After Letty and Dom's street race, he talks about the first time they met during his first street race at the age of 15, though in the first movie, Mia tells Brian that Letty and Dom have known each other their whole life as they've lived in the same neighborhood, but Dom only showed interest in her at the age of 16. 30 up, 4 down.
I also think that tracks because, you could, like, have a neighbor down the street that you didn't notice, and you knew them forever, but then didn't know their name or who they were or where they lived until they were, like, old enough that you were attracted to them.
It just is funny, though, that, like, the movies are so, like, they care about the lineage and the history, and they're like, when they meet, who gives a shit? 15.
Yep. Yeah, sure. Sounds about right.
And then the final one, character error. When the character Tej Parker first appeared in Too Fast, he is shown tattoos on both his left and right arms, as the actor has in real life. When he's reintroduced in the movie, he is shown with no visible tattoos on either arm. 17 up, 2 down.
Oh, so he lost his tattoos. Maybe he got them lasered off while he's, like, on the run.
Or just, he has money now. He regretted earlier decision in his life. He cleaned up his life. He's cleaned up his arms, cleaned up his life.
That's what I said. Yeah, he could have lasered them off. Yeah.
So that's the Goof Troop for Fast and Furious 6. We'll do Goof Troop for Tokyo Drift in 2 weeks. But, Joe, now it's time to do the most important thing. It's time to run that VIN.
Let's do it. I'm very excited. Go ahead. Was there a good one?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
I haven't looked either.
So here's one. There's 2 pictures or 2 items in a carousel. Vin Diesel on March 7th, always, ... And it's him and Michelle.
He's wearing the cross. He's wearing the chain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What era do you think? This is like newer, right? Like
this is pretty.
Like,
yeah, he's looking about
9?
the age 9 or 10. Yeah.
Then the second picture,
Austin Film Society.
I guess that's Louis Leterrier, probably.
Let's look at. Can we see? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're right. It is. It's Louis Leterrier with glasses and a cowboy hat on.
The 40th Austin Film Society
was last week.
Oh, it was. Yeah. Okay. So this is like a new picture.
Oh no! So this is like very recent then, because if
although yeah. So this is
because that's him wearing the same jacket and cross chain. Did he just like become Dom Toretto in real life too, or is he just wearing the costume for the Austin Film Society?
I don't know. Like Michelle got changed, so she's like in casual clothes. She's got like a bag or like she's like that's like a backpack strap.
Yeah.
And she's just wearing like a shirt that normal people wear. Then she's like dressy for the red carpet here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Top comment: I can smell the trailer is coming. Which no, probably not.
Probably not.
They're not shooting the movie yet.
It doesn't seem like it.
I will say, as a reminder, whenever the trailer does drop, we will do an emergency episode as soon as we can.
Yes.
And we'll put it out, but that probably won't be for a while. Here's a question.
What?
Do you think it'll be this lap?
How many more we got?
This lap ends in September. Do you think we'll get a trailer before September?
Yes.
They haven't even started shooting the movie yet.
Oh, good point.
They don't have a script yet.
It's getting edited so that Garter Verone could be the big bad guy.
Next Instagram.
Okay.
On March 12th.
He's got this goofy-ass fucking logo again.
Forever forward, ... always. He's below a sign that says Forever Forward. He's looking real swole in his Vin black tank top.
He's just looking big. I don't think this is necessarily swole. He's just looking big.
He's just he's like in Always Sunny, just like Mac. He's packing on mass.
He is. Yes, exactly.
I would not call him fat, but
I wouldn't call him fat. I think it said big.
Looking forward and looking eye emoji. Good, says Barbara.
Good job, Barbs.
There you go. Pushing forward, not backwards. Hang 10. Great picture. Looking good. Thanks for sharing. Que tengas un buen día. Have a good day. Hang 10. Okay.
Cool.
Next one.
Okay. Wow.
This is
okay,
posted
we got
5
a
days
mouthful.
ago, March 13th.
Okay.
Have you ever found yourself doing one thing while your mind wanders to countless other places? Here I am, sketching at my friend Robert Rodriguez's castle.
Damn.
So he's hanging out in Austin.
Yeah.
Good vibes, surrounded by one of my favorite artists, Frank Frazetta's incredible artwork, which somehow fills this space with inspiration.
This is, by the way, now looking at it, so Michelle, him, and Leterrier must have all been at Robert Rodriguez's castle.
Oh, here? Yeah, it's a similar
it.
Background, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the same design feel.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense that Robert Rodriguez was heavily into the Austin Film Society, awards or whatever.
That might be that might just be Robert Rodriguez.
No,
it is Robert Rodriguez. Wow.
Oh,
okay.
Fuck. Okay. Cool. Okay. It was Robert, who looks like Louis Leterrier with glasses and a cowboy hat on, like same guy.
Michelle looks stunned that she's next to Robert Rodriguez. Vin pointing at one of them, looking kind of confused. Michelle Rodriguez, Tim and Carrie League. Tim League is the semi-disgraced former CEO of the Draft House, and Noah Hawley, creator of Legion and Fargo and the upcoming Alien Earth, honor the Texas Film Awards at Distribution Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, there's Tim League. There's Elijah Wood, also Austin local. Michelle and Robert.
What's her name? Zazie Beetz?
Yep. Yeah. David Rysdahl, Noah Hawley. That's Noah Hawley in the middle, and Zazie Beetz.
Yep.
It was Robert Rodriguez, not Louis Leterrier. Okay. Yet my thoughts drift elsewhere. ... Vin's post resumes. To convincing the studio to bring jobs back to LA for this one Fast and Furious film. To the Riddick character waiting to be brought to the big screen. ... To that meaningful conversation with the Mayan Queen and Scarlett.
Who's the Mayan Queen?
It's a yacht.
No, he's referring to someone.
The Red Queen, a Mayan mystery.
No, it's somebody in Scarlet. Who's he's referencing someone.
This is all just people reposting that. No idea. Okay. Scarlett shares similarities with me that few in Hollywood can imagine, and she surprisingly, genuinely encouraged me to pursue and film that infamous New York detective. So I guess it's just the Kojak thing.
Is she in Kojak with him? Who else is in Kojak with him? I think he's referring to someone that's an actor that he's working with as the Mayan Queen.
The writing team behind James Bond films The World Is Not Enough and Skyfall are reworking a previous draft.
So we don't know yet. Okay.
Kojak's not even on IMDb.
Typical. Okay.
He's got Fast 10 Part 2, Muscle, which we don't know about, Triple X 4, Merc City. Oh, these are producer. Hold on. We don't want producer. We want actor. Arc 2, Riddick, Triple X. We still don't know what Muscle is. What's Muscle?
I don't know.
F. Gary Gray. Fate
Kept
of Furious.
under wraps.
Him and Olivia Day. Who's Olivia Day? American actress. Known for movies I don't know. Okay. Sure. Another thing to keep an eye on. And finally, and most importantly, Vin writes, the mandate to get home for my youngest daughter Pauline's 10th birthday. And it's him drawing?
Yeah, he said he's sketching in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a comic-y character. It's like a caricature, is what it kind of looks like from this angle, which is hard to read, but that's a wild-ass time. Imagine Vin Diesel just starts drawing in your house.
I did see this one. This is the next one from 4 days ago.
Incredible.
March 13th. Just him, big old muscle, stay focused.
Flexing. ... What are the titles of all of them? I think that the title could be, it's like Forever, Always, Stay Focused.
Forever forward, always, stay
always.
Focused. Always, forever forward, stay focused. There's still one more. We'll see what the next one is.
Okay.
Blessed am I, ... to go through life. Blessed am I is also pretty good.
Yeah.
To go through life with all the beautiful souls that I call family, to those who know your heart and the profound significance of your 10-year-old daughter's birthday, ... grateful beyond words, ... and a picture of him and Jordana.
Jordana Brewster showed up to his daughter's birthday party. So much
love.
Yeah.
What a perfect day.
That's very, very sweet. I also thought for a second I wanted to name it possibly Would Anyone Please Think of LA? Because like he had to throw in another I'm going back to LA for the jobs.
Yet my thoughts drift elsewhere to convincing the studio to bring his jobs back to LA. Should we call it the Mayan Queen and Scarlett?
I like that. Yes.
Because theoretically, if people are Googling that, they might find our episode.
They'll never will. They'll never ever will. But I do like that. That's good. And we're hitting the SEO on them again too.
You know, we had to do it to them.
Yeah.
The Mayan Queen and Scarlett.
I'm imagining he means Scarlett Johansson.
There's not that many Scarletts that are just one name, mononym. The double T is not that common.
But he expects us to know who the Mayan Queen is.
Even Googling with Kojak doesn't come up with anything. I don't know.
Vin is in like a what is it, like a mysterious era right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's being more mysterious than usual. Find your bear country. Find your bear country, Vin.
He's got to go back.
Got to go back.
Joe, is Dwayne Johnson Interpol?
No. They're never making that fucking movie.
I am like 2 years behind in catching up on a podcast. Like I'm in June, July of 23, and the second Spider-Verse movie came out. Animated movie, Marvel, not MCU.
yes, exactly.
And
thank you. Yes.
They were talking about how they were frustrated that like it was a great movie, frustrated by like not having an ending, and they were like, this also just happened in Fast 10. And then one of them who hadn't seen the movie was just like, yeah, Vin Diesel on the red carpet says there's gonna be 3 movies. And I'm like, still maybe, probably not, but like 2 years later, we still don't know.
We have no definitive answer to any of that. Mm-hmm. We do not.
We have a Patreon page, toofast2forever.com, where you can get bonus episodes, early access
for
to
$1.
Every episode for $1 a month. Gran Turismo coming out next week. Out now if you join. If you're the main feed, you can join right now. Gran Turismo episode in your feed. But shout out to those at the $5 level or above. Nick Burris, Alex Ellenin, Justin Kleiman, and Brian Rodriguez of Fatherhood.
Ooh.
Wes Hampton, Jerry Robinson, Dan the Duke, Hayden Renato DiZonato, Michael McGann, Lane Middleton, Lindsay Lewandowski, Nate Milton of the Kings of Sport, Jason Rainey, Tom Price, Mike Gallagher, Josh Buckley of Whole Lotta Wolves,
Yep. Michael
Moser, Christian Larson, Tara Newone, Aaron Willows, Natalie Absolute, Randy Carter, Josh Goularm, Alex Walsh, Josh Luther, Jack Haley, and Jessica Collins, a.k.a. Montez. Thank you all for supporting at the $5 a month level or above. If you want your name on that list, toofast2forever.com gets $1 a month. Like Joe said, gets you in the door.
Yep.
We also have an email address, family@cageclub.me, if you want to email in instead of joining the Patreon, or both. We've got a bunch of different things. So one thing, Randy put this in the Discord when we were talking on the last Fast thing.
Yes, and you asked him to email it
and I was like, please email us in, because he had insights into the way that Hollywood works in a way that I didn't. That you didn't, that we didn't. Samantha Vincent, p.g.a. So Randy Carter says, in your latest podcast, you were talking about Samantha Vincent and Vin mentioning she got a p.g.a. mark on her credit in Fast 10. She is Vin's sister and runs his production company, One Race Films. You guys made it sound like this is no big deal. Actually, Samantha Vincent getting the p.g.a. mark is a pretty big deal. It's more than just getting a producer credit, parentheses, which isn't tough to get when you run the Starz production company, as the Producers Guild has to vet you and make sure that you actually significantly contribute to the production of the film. A perfect example is Vin Diesel himself. He applied for the mark on 6, 7, 8 and was turned down each time, as the Producers Guild determined he had not contributed significantly enough as a producer to get the mark. There's some news reports about it where he claimed it was all political, etc., parentheses, he was really pissed. Here's a link to the story from 2020. He finally got the mark starting with 9. Also, Vin seemed to indicate that Samantha was the first woman to receive the p.g.a. mark for Fast 10. That's just more of his fever dreams. Barbara Broccoli received the p.g.a. mark for No Time to Die. As always, ride or die, Randy. Yeah, that's why I was just like, even taking into consideration the p.g.a. mark is harder to get, there's been a lot of female producers on a lot of things, right? It's just like...
Yeah. I think he was like, she's the first one on a Fast 10, like on a Fast. So like, I don't really fault him with that one, but the cattiness behind the scenes thing was interesting. Thank you, Randy, for the great share.
Randy also emails in Fast and Furious destinations. For no particular reason whatsoever, which makes me think that he's doing something. Here are a list of the countries visited by Dom and the crew, not where they actually shot, but where they're supposed to be, in alphabetical order. Do you want to guess how many countries there are on this list?
21.
Jesus.
Was I dead on?
Yep. I think.
Wow.
Antarctica, Azerbaijan, Brazil, China, parentheses Hong Kong. Getting into murky waters there, Randy. Don't associate the two.
Yeah, true.
Costa Rica, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Georgia, Germany, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Monaco, Nicaragua as the fictional Monte Quinto, which means 5 mountains or the 5th mountain in Spanish.
Yeah.
Panama, Portugal, Russia, Spain, the UAE, the UK, and the USA. Do with this information what you will, Randy.
That's 21. I was fucking dead on. Babe Ruth did.
That's
okay,
crazy.
I like that.
That's crazy. Jack writes in, Jack Haley, Fast Furious team scene. Hey, Fast fam, what scene would be more fun to see? Watching the team play beer league softball or watching the team go out and sing karaoke? Find your bear country, Jack. So, Joe, in a Fast and Furious movie, you want to see them play beer league softball, deck hockey with Keanu, or go out and sing karaoke?
I think karaoke would be... I think we've kind of almost seen them do karaoke in these movies, right? Like, we've seen the birthday routine thing, right? So that's very close. I would much rather them... I would rather see them play, beer league hockey, beer league softball. I think this would be a blast. And I want to see them not do it in a movie. I want to see the cast have a team... a la the Seinfeld episode where the improv is playing Rochelle the musical, and Bette Midler needs Kramer to get the pineapple.
Who do you think
Italian
is
ice.
best at softball? Dominic Toretto, Vin Diesel, or Mark Sinclair?
I think... Oh, that's such a good question. I think that Mark Sinclair is probably the best at softball.
Okay.
I think Vin Diesel thinks he's the best at softball.
Okay.
And I think numbers-wise, Dom Toretto's probably the best at softball.
I think Dom is just not bad at anything. I think
that's what I mean. I think that his batting average and shit. Like, what is his slash OPS? Like Dom's gonna have the highest
Dom's
numbers.
Batting 800, his on base percentage is 950 or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like doubles was a slash. It was the slash or whatever.
We are also recording this episode on the day where the first game of the season was played this morning in Japan. So happy baseball season!
It is baseball season. We're
even
back.
Though the Yankees' best hitter went to the Mets and their best pitcher is out for the year. So
and I heard fucking Junk is
Junk is real fucked. Junk has issues with his calf and both elbows. Like he probably won't play this year.
Yeah, that's what my buddy was saying today. Yeah, that's fucking miserable.
I am going to go. My goal is to, we have the tickets to that one game, or we're going to have tickets to that one game, but I do want to go to a Max Fried home game in April.
Okay.
Support the new hire.
Yeah.
New comment on Dirty Mary Crazy Larry from Michael Hunnings. Where the damn movie?
That was a new one. That was a healthy spin. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name? Michael?
That was Michael Hunnings. Where the damn movie?
Where the damn movie at, string?
We got a comment on Shogun Assassin from Marshall Smith 6038. Great movie.
That was more positive. I like that. That was cool. Thank you, Marshall.
Person watched it.
He did not.
We have 2 comments from Patreon. I think both from Randy. No, one from Randy, one from Jerry. He said, and this is on about last week's episode with Brian about Knockaround Guys. I worked for the company that produced Battlefield Earth. It wasn't just Barry Pepper. That film did no favors for anyone's career. No, that's like famously like a bomb of a movie.
Okay.
And then Jerry comments and says, I'll join for Universal. Ileana doesn't do roller coasters unless it's Space Mountain at Disneyland.
Oh, cool. We'll let you know when we're coming.
You know what we got to do?
What?
It's got to be open for 1327.
I think it's actually the timeline. I think the timeline is actually like dead on.
We go out there and like, we're probably not people throw a party at 1327 because I think those people probably want to have nothing to do with anything Fast and Furious. But we can make a pilgrimage there. We go to Toretto's Market and Cafe.
We can. We can. Universal.
The shrimp. We go to Jimbo's Shrimp Shack is in Florida, or no, it was in Florida.
Neptune's Net.
Neptune's Net. We could go to Universal. 2 more emails. These are both longer. First one up from Alex Walsh. A ladder is not a vehicle. Hello, 2F2F crew. Another lap under the belt.
Okay. I can imagine where you are. Just based on the title.
But I saw the thing and I'm just like, yeah, it's not a vehicle. It's a method of conveyance. We got there.
We eventually got there. We did.
One place to another. Great cast of guest hosts. I don't remember them all, but I remember there were several who made me think, quote, I should remember to shout this person out in my lap email. I didn't.
It's okay.
The big thing that stuck with me were the few early guests who reinforced the thought I've had. We all feel like feeling right, don't we? Specifically, the always fun Andy Tudor lamenting the loss of the too fast characterization of Roman and Tej. I feel like this is the biggest piece of evidence in favor of the Brazilian job theory of Fast 5. Characters shift at this point because the production had a script and just had to cram characters they had from previous movies into quote-unquote close enough roles. They needed a tech guy, and Tej had a garage, which is close enough. They wanted to bring Han back, so they had Dom and Brian pick him as the quote chameleon, even though almost every scene featuring him in Los Bandoleros involves someone asking who he is or where he's from. Roman got
very good point.
It is also funny to be like, oh yeah, we're in Brazil and there's just one Asian dude. It's like,
with long hair that's very handsome. Mm-hmm. And like nobody, he blends in everywhere. You're like, no, not really.
Roman got slotted into the comic relief role, which isn't 100% fit for his Too Fast character, but again, close enough. Later in the lap, Lisa Williams on the Fast 5 episode talked about how Hobbs in 5 is so different from how he's just The Rock in later movies, as if it was written before he was cast, and from 6 on, they fit the character to him. It all fits the Brazilian job theory.
I like it. I like this theory. This is a fun one. It works for me.
Well, it was a thing that we found, right?
Yeah, somewhere.
Mm-hmm. I also have to give a shout out to Joe for a perfectly executed bit. Here goes the ego. Joe, there's nothing I appreciate more than taking an extremely long setup for a joke and having every sponsor for every movie include X all lap just to end with Fast X being sponsored by Twitter was a beautiful payoff. The absolute refusal to use the name is very Pittsburgh. The new name is very Pittsburgh. They even got Star Lake back out of sheer stubbornness. But I believe it's okay to call it X on occasion as long as you use the full name X, the everything app, because it's just so dumb.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I often wonder if anybody listens to the sponsors, so I'm glad that you appreciated my long bit as much as I appreciated thinking of it. So Thank you.
Last thing, there was a lot of talk about snakes on a plane this lap, which gives me an opportunity to explain my extremely stupid handle on X, the everything app. I was exactly the right age to get swept up in all the memes in the lead up to the release of this movie. When it came out, my friends and I went to an opening night midnight showing, and it was the best experience I've ever had in the theater. Everyone was on the same page, shouting at the screen, throwing plastic snakes around the theater, pure bliss. I was somehow still riding that high 3 years later in 2009. As a recent college grad, I decided I had all the answers and started a wildly short-lived political blog. But what to call it? Well, I'm an idealist, and what's ideal? Planes without snakes. The brief moment is frozen in amber forever because I started my Twitter at the same time. No regrets. I actually still make the Legion of Moochers on my Disney Plus account type motherfucking snakes as part of the password.
Love it. Love it, love it. And also, Snakes on a Plane was a good moment in history. If you want to look back on something that brings you great nostalgia, the Snakes on a Plane moment gives me the same feelings I get of like when we convinced Morbius should go back into theaters because nobody see it because they just forgot about it and they did it,
still saw it,
and then nobody saw it. Like that is like one of the greatest accomplishments. Like all of these dumb things make me so happy too. I've been talking about Coney 2012 forever. Like, I'm still thinking about Coney 2012 because that was an excellent moment in my history, too.
Balloon Boy?
I bring up Balloon Boy often. Yeah, yeah.
I'm so close to being caught up. Looking forward to hitting real time, but since I made my email debut in the last fast lane of this lap, I now have a new form of anxiety in the lead up to each one of these eps. Good times. See you in the present soon-ish, Alex. Well, thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Alex, and good job catching up, bud. You're cruising. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. And just like, thanks for writing in, bud. It's awesome.
Then one more email from Jackie Jones. Few things can be addressed one by one. Meadow Walker inherited her father's crystal collection. Paul Walker had a crystal collection. Paul Walker and Vin Diesel were friends. Is Vin Diesel into crystals? I think as the Resident
You don't mean
Swarovski.
You don't mean Swarovski.
No, I think just crystal. The Resident Steelers fan here, being so close to having Karen as your quarterback, being the crystal and clay guy that he is, I think you are perfectly suited to answer this question. Is Vin Diesel into crystals?
I think 150%. I think 150% Vin Diesel's into crystals because he plays Dungeons and Dragons. And I don't think that these things they're not mutually exclusive.
I think that's fair. If you're going to play a game that has, like, tokens that give you level up, like, why would you not believe that?
Charging your crystal by the moonlight will bring you special powers. But I still think that, what if we are wrong, and this is actually Paul Walker collected, like, what are they, like, the little angels? But, like, the Swarovski crystals, like, that my grandma used to have, like, little, like, swans that are just prisms that you would get, like, at the mall.
Yeah.
I would like to imagine that Paul Walker was collecting those, and Meadow now has just like one glass bookcase full of like a panda holding a balloon and like a swan and like a koala that are those instead.
Very nice.
I don't think Vin collects those.
But is he into them?
I think that Meadow makes him look at all the new ones when he goes over her house.
Okay.
And I think he just is like, oh yeah, cool.
I
like the panda.
I think he loves anything that Meadow shows him. I think he's into.
Yeah, like in an uncle-y way, not in like he's like, oh, I need a collection for myself. But I think he'd be like, oh, you got the new penguin? That's really cute. But yeah, I would like to imagine them more collecting those than actual just like crystals, like, you know, a girl from Denver or something.
Yep. Question number 2.
Okay.
Was Rita Ora playing herself in Furious 6? Cardi B is playing an actual character, Lisa, but is not clear for Rita Ora. So on IMDb...
Is Iggy Azalea is playing a character, not herself.
Is she?
That's what I'm at. It was framed as a question.
So first we'll go to Iggy Azalea, who is best known for Furious 7.
Yeah,
she plays female racer.
Okay. What is Rita Ora's? This is going to be a good hint.
Uncredited race caller.
But uncredited, so that's what they gave her on IMDb, not...
Yeah, that just means that she did not have a name.
I don't think that she's playing Rita Ora. I think that she is a character. I think that all of them are characters. Even T-Pain isn't playing T-Pain.
Yeah, right, correct.
And I think that T-Pain would be, like, way up there.
Does anybody play themselves in any of these movies?
No.
Is there something really obvious that we're missing that people are going to email in about?
Probably. Like Stuart, or the fucking... The guy that does the news, like one of those, like,
oh yeah,
but he's playing the other character from another show, right?
Oh, you mean like Perd Hapley at the beginning of 5?
Perd Hapley, that's what I meant. Yes.
Yeah, no, he's just playing another news guy, but he's known for news guy, but he's not a news guy; he's an actor. Yeah, so
yeah,
I'm sure you have covered this, but at some point, but I haven't had the chance to go through the entire backlog. What are you waiting on, Jackie? Just do it.
No, don't.
Alex is doing it.
God. Yeah, that's true. You're trying to peer pressure.
I am curious though when Alex gets here. Like I have done like Herculean, like I'm, these two shows that I'm catching up on, like I might never catch up on, whatever. There's actually 3 that I haven't started, but like I've caught up on them before, and then I'm like, oh, this thing that I had like 2 hours a day every day, now I have to wait once or twice a week for a thing.
And it becomes annoying?
It just like builds up, and I'm just like, well, I gotta do it again, because like that's like the way that I consumed it. You know what I mean? So like,
you were just binging always.
You might not like only having 1 episode a week, or 2, 1.5 or whatever, right? With the Patreon. But doesn't Tej already have a garage in Miami in Too Fast? Why is that his dream use of the loot in the Brazilian job in Fast 5? We actually just talked about this recently, I think, didn't we, or did we not?
What did we say if we talked about it recently?
I mean, he did have a garage. We probably assume that he sold it
to go on the lam.
Point. Yeah, I don't know, but he's not really on the lam. Because, like, in 2, he's not, like, he gets arrested or whatever for, like, pretending to be Brian or Roman.
Part of the race. Yeah, part of the scramble.
But he doesn't go on the run for that. And then he doesn't show back up till 5 when he's, like, called to Brazil. So he's not going to, like, sell his garage to do a job.
No, but I mean, economic downturn. Maybe he just, like, lost it. Maybe he just went under.
That is true. The housing market crashed between Too Fast and Fast 5.
That's a good theory.
And all those houses in Florida that,
hurricanes?
Hurricanes? Well, I'm not, I was not
you're even saying subprime. Oh, yeah, like the Big Short.
That Tej as a honey, or, no honeys.
Yeah.
That he's just like, oh, no, I can ball out here. I got a good business. I'm going to get these, like, crazy mortgages. Then the bank forecloses on it, and just like, well, got to sell the shop.
Then that was his only real source of, like, income. He had new lifts, remember? By Too Fast, he was like, these lifts are brand new. So he's probably paying on those too. I don't think he bought them outright.
He says, this makes me wonder. Jackie says, this makes me wonder, could it be possible that Tej is part of Tenet? So the Tej in Too Fast is inverted and actually from after the events of Fast 5. Holy Toledo has Tenet and Fast and Furious been in the same movie, same universe the whole time. Is that how Giselle is back in 10? She's inverted and from before she died. Will we see a Mission Impossible moment with Mr. Nobody tearing off the Kurt Russell mask to reveal John David Washington? Oops, I just spoiled Fast 10 Part 2, Faster 10, Faster X. Though I don't know story-wise why any of this would happen. Sadly, Tenet was Warner Brothers, so probably not the case.
I do like that they're just all in like a looper situation.
Yeah.
That they just like come back later.
The Tenet angle is an angle that we have not thought about yet, but it's also effectively time travel, right? Like it's going backwards in time as opposed to whatever, but like, or linearly as opposed to jumping around, but who knows? That is good.
The Tenet theory is a good theory because Tokyo Drift does take place after 6 anyways, so they're already kind of doing this. We know Fast and Furious doesn't care about the timeline.
It is crazy to think that Giselle is only back, that she actually did die, but she's back because this is a younger version of herself.
The Substance?
Oh. But it's still Giselle. It's still Gal Gadot. But seriously, Jackie says, Teneting Fast and Furious would allow the timeline to make sense, i.e. Dom being an adult in 1989.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, too. Yeah, good point.
Also, the franchise makes sense if anybody gave a shit about anything.
Yeah, true.
But, what can you do?
They could have had us, resident historians, and we could have just been like, nope. No.
True.
We can find you the date on the tombstones. We can fix this all up for you.
But that's all the emails that we have. Family at
that was a great email bag. That was a really good top tier email bag, guys. You did excellent. All of you down the line.
Joe, extracurricular activities. What have you been up to since we last recorded a Fastlane 2 weeks ago?
The 2 main things that I did was Saturday I had an adventure day. I went and our friend Heather Antos was here at an independent comics con. And she had a table there, and so I went to go see her and support her at her comics thing, and it was cute.
Super cool.
And yeah, it was fun.
Was she excited to see you?
She was excited to see us.
Had she met Rachel before, like at a barbecue?
Yeah, for sure. So she saw
I told Margaret that. She's like, have they met? I'm like, well, Heather did a whole lap, but like, I think they met at a barbecue. So it's not like just like some random guy showing up like, hey, our friend.
Yeah, exactly. We bought some stickers. She made some like fun stickers. I have one. I have a Rachel bought a stack of them. But it was cool. If Heather comes around, you should go see her and tell her how much you enjoyed her lap. Also her friend said that like her compadre that was with her at her table said she had never seen a Fast and the Furious film before either. And I was like, do you want to talk about him for a lap? So like, and then I went After that, and I went to go see my friend that I work with has an Irish band, and it was St. Patrick's Day weekend. So I went to go see him at a local brewery that they got to take over, and they played Irish music, which I always think is fun in a pub setting, beer setting. So drank some beers, listened to some Irish music. There was a child at the brewery with no shoes on, eating a granola bar the long way, while the parents did not watch them at all. And I instantly thought of our friend Brian, and that's the end of my story there. So I've been catching up on a lot of TV, caught up on Severance, ready for the finale that's coming out to us in
Friday.
a couple days.
Yep.
I saw Mickey 17. Did we talk about that? Did you see it?
I did see it. We did not talk about it. You did reference it something. You said something like Vin 17 that I did not hear on the Knock Around Guys episode. You said Vin 17 when we were telling Brian about crossing over, and I'm like, oh, I didn't hear that, but I heard that in editing, so I figured you'd seen it.
Yeah, we saw that. That was a lot of fun. Feels like they shot the movie thinking one thing was going to happen in the world and another thing happened, and then they just kept Mark Ruffalo, who just stayed being a caricature of someone that we all know.
So it's not, I did not remember who it was, but it's not based on Trump. He's obviously very Trumpy, but it's based on somebody else.
Sure.
But what do you think of the movie overall?
It's pretty fun. I like Robert Pattinson, so like for me, like I'm a Robert Pattinson sucker. What did you think? Do you like it? Hate it?
I liked it a lot. It was by the guy who made Parasite, Letterboxd All-Star.
Yeah, it's Bong Joon-ho. Yeah.
And I was just hoping for like one more thing. Like it didn't like have like another. Not that I need every movie to be like as good as Parasite because that's like a crazy ask, but like
yes.
It's like okay, so like there's this crazy future tech where like you can sign up to be an expendable and duplicate your body so that like every time you die in like horrific ways that they're gonna like use you as a guinea pig, you come back to life and you still like remember who you are, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then what if one of them didn't die, they thought he died, so there's now multiples. Like this is all in the trailer, this is all the premise of the movie. And I'm like, okay, and then like what's the next thing? It's just like, well, what if these creatures are actually good and not evil? It's like, that's the thing? Like that's the point? Like don't be cruel?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, maybe.
But the thing that it didn't suffer from is it wasn't 17 hours long.
It was still kind of long, though. Like, it was 2 hours.
It was kind of long. Sure. Okay, fair enough.
I liked it a lot. Like, I think it's great, and I think Robert Pattinson was great, and
It's fun to see Bong Joon-ho have his passion project movie. I always enjoy these.
Mm-hmm. Because he's made other movies, like, they're all kind of comedies in ways. Like, Parasite's really funny, but it's like, this is like the first,
Parasite's
like,
really funny.
comedy, and it's like, okay, like, I just wish there was, like, one more thing. Again, like, you just set the bar so high, it's like, just, you know, I don't know what the thing is, but, like, one more thing where it's just like, okay, now what? And it's like, well.
Did you go see it with Margaret?
Yeah, she loved it.
She did? Is she a sauce queen? Was, like, the sauce jokes, like, really funny to her? Because, like, Rachel's a super sauce queen. My buddy Doug, his wife, is a sauce queen. Like, the running joke in my house is, like, if Rachel eats, like, air-fried chicken nuggets or something like that, she has, like, 6 different sauce containers open.
What were the sauce jokes in the movie? I don't know, like, it didn't register for me, so, like, we did not talk about it.
Oh, okay. No, it's just, like...
Were they talking about, like, sauces? Because they talk about, like, the food, like,
yes.
it's all, like, the disgusting food or whatever, but, like...
Yes, yeah. She's like, this would make a great sauce, and, like, you need to add the sauce on it.
Right, yes. Toni Collette was doing that, yeah.
Yes.
No, that did not... No. Didn't
it
register.
super hit for us. Okay. Other things I saw were I'm catching up on Gemstones. We realized we missed season 3 of
I missed season 3 also, yeah. I realized this week, or like not this week, but this month, I realized that like after I caught up on every episode of Simpsons and King of the Hill and Seinfeld and Curb and everything,
you just stopped watching TV
altogether for like 8 months.
That's awesome.
So like anything that came out like
Good
last
you,
year
bud.
or this year, I'm just like I haven't seen anything. So like all these shows like have another season coming out, I'm just like, oh, I have like a season and a half to catch up on.
So you want to hear how dumb we are? We were watching Gemstones. We were like, we actually didn't finish season 2, okay, of Gemstones.
Okay.
So we were like, this weekend, we were like, oh, let's start season 2. We'll catch up. We'll be ready for the new season. So, like, we got to, like, the last episode of season 2. And we're like, okay, we're going to finish that, and we'll watch the new one. We'll be ready for the episode, because I think it comes out on Sunday. Go ahead. Yeah. You want to do the math for us real quick there, bud? Because I watched you do it. So we're like, okay, cool. So we're like, season 3, episode 1. Cool. Hit play. And then we're like, damn, is season 3, episode 2 already out? Like, did they drop it early? We hit play. And then we're like, season 3, episode... Oh, we just didn't watch season 3 either. So, anyways, we're like into season 3 now, and it's always fun. I like Righteous Gemstones. It's a stupid show. Also, what else? White Lotus We're caught up on White Lotus, which is fun. Did you watch last night's or
I've only seen the
2
premiere
nights
so
ago?
far, but I've seen saucy headlines about all the things that happened in this new episode.
Last night's episode has like one of the greatest moments of like something I've never seen on television before. Like a monologue that I had never thought I would hear on television.
I think, and I'm going to believe this for the listeners, is like a monologue or something like that, or no? Is that right?
You want me to tell you what it is?
No, I'm
like
gonna get
gently.
But is that
then okay?
Is that in the right direction or no?
It's like sexual.
Okay. Every headline I see about these is like this kind of this, or this kind of this, or like what happened in this scene. It's just like everything that people are talking about with the season is just about nudity or relationships.
So everybody
or sex.
says this. I got my mom on it when she was here, and she was like, "I heard this is like a really smutty episode." I was like, "I don't think anybody's naked in this episode."
In the new one?
Yeah.
Well, no.
I don't remember
apparently,
anybody being naked.
My friend mentioned he's like Carrie Coon gets naked. I'm just like, she was naked in the finale of The Leftovers. He's like, what? He's like, I don't remember that. I'm like, yeah, like she gets like fully naked. She has to go like in that tube. Spoilers to Leftovers, but like to try to find a world where like her family hasn't been departed, she like goes in that tube and like basically drowns herself.
I don't remember this. Okay.
It's like the whole like.
But yes,
it's so funny that like your memory has been well established on his, but like my friend like loves The Leftovers, and like that's like the whole emotional payoff of the finale, where like she apparently goes on this journey to find this other thing, and then eventually comes back to find Kevin, and like decades later, and it's like, well, what happened? Like where do they go from here? And but like to do that, she has to get. So it's just like. He's like, I didn't know she was that kind of actress. I'm like, bro, like you watched The Leftovers.
See, but for me, I'm saying how insignificant is it that Carrie Coon gets naked in this episode? Because it's like it's not like.
Well, also the thing with a lot of HBO shows now, and also especially this show and like the Mike White shows, are like it's all about like the male nudity, like people hanging dong and stuff like that. That's what people talk about.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, I'm catching up on that and Severance. I won't be. I will try to be caught up on both for the next Fastlane, so we can talk about it in 2 weeks. I should be able to be.
Yeah, you should be able to finish Severance, because like, how are you surviving? Like, do you just like not open any social media at all?
Well, I don't.
Or is like,
no, I don't go.
Okay, good.
So that's that.
Proud of you.
But like in the
Love
headlines, I
that.
see it's like Severance is okay with taking its time. So I'm like, okay, like there's not a lot happening. Like I've seen like 3 or 4. Like I've seen like between a third and a half.
Those people are full of shit, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Severance is a season long of plot line in every episode except for one that was necessary.
Okay.
And it was like a season of prequel in one episode, and then
Yep.
Like now it has like slowed down, but like the first like 5 or 6 episodes was like a payoff of shit that you were just like, this is the end of a season, like wait till next season will we wrap this up situation. And they were just like bang, bang, bang. Severance was fire. White Lotus is fire too. People just have brain rot from fucking TikTok. Mm-hmm. I'm sick of it. Either way, yeah, these are the people that thought Anora was bad. So, you know what I mean? Like we're dealing with these people again. So, Severance is great. White Lotus is good. I don't think it's great. It's good, right? Like
I've never loved White Lotus.
It's not like prestige television. No, it's just fun.
It's just actors that I like in a thing that
doing
like,
silly
looks pretty,
thing.
but it's just like I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's stupid.
Yeah. Anything else you've been up to?
No, I think that's it. What about you, brother? What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? We saw Mickey 17, which we talked about. Bob and I went to, so there was a movie, I told you about this, that like, there was a book that came out decades ago that like there's this hard case crime series.
Yeah, you were telling me about this, yeah.
Where this one editor basically kind of like republished or resurfaced a lot of old like crime, like, you know, Pulp Fiction novels, like penny novels, like nickel, whatever, dime store novels. And there was this book called Memory that was being adapted into a film that was starring Ryan Gosling. So like 2 years ago by this point, probably. Bob
we
and
probably talked about it.
We did a season of Lottery Pod where it was books that were deemed unadaptable, and then 6 books that were becoming movies. And this was one of those. And like, I just hadn't heard about it. And like, in the meantime, Gosling dropped out, Andre Holland joined, Gemma Chan joined, Duke Johnson, who directed Anomalisa, was making it. I never heard about anything. Like, it just never came out. And then every week I look at like what's playing in New York, and like all of a sudden, with no fanfare, the actor was in one theater in New York, and they were doing a Q&A with Andre Holland. So Bob and I went, and it was fine. The Q&A was awkward, but he was charming. He mentioned, let's go get a drink like 4 or 5 times. Like, he really wanted to get a drink.
He wanted to go get a drink with you guys? Like, or
no,
with the
just
audience?
Like with
or
the
who?
audience. Because like everybody's just like, yo, man, we worked together on Shirley. You remember me? He's just like, I don't, man. I'm sorry. Like, my memory's bad. It's like, okay, cool. Here's
But
a
I
question.
should get a drink, though. Yeah.
Or like, hey, I'm an actor too, and this is how I prepare. Then how do you? Just ask the question. Nobody cares about your backstory. But he was like very, gracious with that.
That's sweet. Okay, fair.
But there's also like a moment in the movie where like he's having like this existential, because like it's about a guy who like in the opening scene is cheating, or like he's sleeping with a married woman. The husband comes in and knocks him in the head with a chair, and he loses his memory. And so he's like an actor in a traveling troupe, and so he's just stranded in the middle of nowhere in like Midwest Ohio, and like knows he lives in New York because he has his driver's license. But he's like, I don't know who I am or where, whatever, and just like he has to try to get back. So like there's this moment where like he's like really like things are coming to terms with it. Like he's like having this like breakdown, and he's filming this like soap opera, and it's like very sad and emotional, and the entire theater is laughing. I'm like, what movie are you guys watching? Like, what is going?
Oh wow,
very strange.
Okay.
But the actor's fine. I would not go see it in theaters, but Andre Allen's great, Gemma Chan's good. But then on Sunday, I saw 2 movies, one with Margaret, one alone. We saw Black Bag, which is the new Steven Soderbergh movie. He made Presents earlier this year. He made Black Bag.
Yes.
This is the spy movie, spy thriller with Fassbender and Cate Blanchett.
Is it good?
It's fucking awesome. It's so good.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
It rules. Go see it. And then I saw Opus, the new A24 movie with Io Debris, where like John Malkovich is like the biggest pop star of the 90s who comes out of retirement to like drop a new album, and there's like things are not what they seem or whatever. I thought the movie stunk. Like, it just like, okay, that's
okay.
So it was pretty, but like I was so bored watching it, and then I looked at Letterboxd, and like Bob had given it 3 stars. I'm like, what? Why did you give it 3 stars? Like, that was probably too generous. I was like, yeah, the movie kind of stinks. I wanted to like it, I just didn't like it. But it's the same thing where it's like The Menu and Midsummer and all these movies where it's like, oh, like rich people are like, there's like this group of people who like invite you in, but like the people there, like it's a different thing. It's like, okay, like sure.
Yeah, Illuminati. We're back
Whatever.
at it.
But Ao, the co-star of The Bear, she's great.
What is she? She's in another movie coming out soon too that I'm like, this is stupid. She's in like one of these fucking what is it? The Marvel World Empire movies.
Oh, What
is she in?
The untitled Barney the Dinosaur film.
That's it. That was the fucking one that I was like, no thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it wasn't.
No, it's the new Marvel. It's the Mattelverse.
The Mattelverse. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we call it the Mattelverse?
Mattelverse. Sure.
It has better mouthfeel.
Yep.
Mattelverse.
So those are the movies that I saw in theaters. Anything else I saw of note in the last couple of weeks? Some of these movies are movies that we talked about on the Patreon, so go there. I did show Margaret Everybody Wants Some, which I watch every year before the fantasy baseball draft. Have you seen that movie? It's like a baseball hangout movie made by Richard Linklater. I love it. It's probably, like, if I had to pick, it's probably my favorite movie. It's just a bunch of college dudes in 1980, the weekend before school starts, just hanging out in the house, and like they're on the baseball team. They're just like getting ready for the season, getting ready for school. Because we kind of like not really always alternate, but I'm like she picked the movie last week, so I'm just like, I know because I'm going to watch this movie this week anyway.
And I'm going to watch it once. This is my year. Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want you to know you're not going to like it because it's all about like boys and baseball. And she really liked it. I was like so surprised. She gave 4 stars on Letterboxd. She really enjoyed it. I'm just like, hell yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Nice.
So for a movie about like 22-year-old or, 20 to 30-year-old guys playing college baseball players, hitting on women the entire time, she's like, I liked it. It was funny. I was like, okay, cool.
That's a great feeling. That's like a feeling you can't get anywhere else.
I know. And then tomorrow we are seeing, and you're seeing separately, Spring Breakers in IMAX, which is very exciting.
Yeah, I have tickets for Spring Breakers. I'm fucking stoked. And
my fantasy baseball draft this weekend. I got good things coming up. So
cool, good.
That's about it for now. I think Jerry and I are independently playing a Pokemon game from 3 years ago, because like when you're on Switch and like somebody comes online playing a game that says like their friend name and like what they're playing, it's like he and I are playing the same game right now. So
that's really
shout
fun.
out Jerry for playing, because I like started when it came out and I never played it, and I just picked it back up because there's a sequel coming out later this year, and I'm like, okay. And then like within an hour of starting it, it's like Jerry's playing Pokemon Legends Arc. I'm like, oh, wait,
that's really fun though.
So shout out Jerry. Quite sort of 2 weeks, but Margaret is moving in, so we'll be doing more things. It's just like so much like shuffling of the stuff, and
yeah, for sure,
getting things ready and so on and so forth. IKEA trips planned for the future, as I'm sure.
I'm sure that there are. I'm sure that there definitely are a bunch of IKEA trips planned for the future.
Our next episode.
Have you been at IKEA together yet?
No, that's what we're gonna do.
I need nearly a play-by-play of that happening as well.
We could also just go to what's the furniture place that has the chain? Ashley Furniture. What's the one that's by you that has like the crazy like the rock?
Oh
wall
yeah,
or the zip line?
Fuck. it at whatever stupid
Jordans.
Yeah. Yeah, that they all have gimmicks. I've talked about this before. No, I really want to know. I want to know how this experience goes for you, and I don't want to say why I'm thinking that.
Well, it's a thing where I don't need anything, and she's gonna need stuff. So like, it's more things for her to store things or like have things or whatever. So
sure,
we'll see.
Whatever. Yeah, just I can foresee how a lot of this goes because I've spent many a trip at IKEA with Rachel. And I know how they usually go, so I would just like to hear your feedback.
The only thing I know for sure is that I'm probably going to be the one who assembles it because I put together a couple things this past weekend, which were easy things, but I'm just like...
That's really funny. Rachel's actually usually the builder in our house. She likes Legos too much.
She does like Legos. Yeah,
IKEA
and Legos are the same thing. It's just like...
IKEA and Legos are just big kid Legos, but she just calls me if she needs man strength of like, hold this up or crank this down. But she enjoys the building of it, so it's not as like... difficult for us. I enjoy the building of it too. She just like wants to take over and not have me do it. We used to do them together. She's just like, get out of my way. I'm like, okay, fine.
Our next episode is Tokyo Drift. Between now and then, for the patrons, they get Gran Turismo, which is Wes Hampton's pick. So shout out to Wes for sponsoring that episode. Tokyo Drift next week, and then after that is the next Fast Lane. So if you want to write in thoughts about White Lotus or Severance, I'm going to put this out there right now. I'm going to force myself to catch up. Like, we'll talk about those. We'll spoiler text those in 2 weeks. So if you want to write in thoughts about either of those shows, get in.
Family cool. Because Severance is going to be over by the time. Like,
Severance will be over, and White Lotus will be close. It'll be like probably 3/4 done.
Episode 6, yeah. Right?
So,
yeah. Cool.
Anything else to say in this episode, The Mayan Queen and Scarlett?
No. I just wish I knew who the Mayan Queen was. That's a good title. I like that.
For all things Too Fast, Too Forever, go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/TooFastTooForever, or at TooFastTooForever on all the socials. Email us, family@cageclub.me. Check out our Patreon page at TooFastTooForever.com and our store at cageclub.me/shop. And come back next week for the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too.
And we will tell you all about it
when we see you again.